up your up your
urethra.
up your urethra. You know, and I've had that before, and
Did you like
it is not fun. Okay.
Did you do it just for giggles? Or?
No, I did it.
You had a disease?
No, they were testing my
Sexual
prostate
disease.
from the front. You never want your prostate. Much better to have it from the back.
I've had my prostate checked from the back.
Yeah, that's bad enough. Wait till you do it from the front. You do not want to go there. Oh my God, is that painful? What am I talking about? So here's the deal. Until this country gets its collective head out of its ass and gets a grip on the situation and is willing to admit and stop being so fucking PC, you can expect anal probes next. Because what's going to happen is the terrorists, to get around the TSA, are going to stick the bombs up their ass, right? Well, what do they care if they get blown up, right? They're on board with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then they're gonna say, okay, now we have to probe your anal cavities, right? And then that's gonna be the next thing that's gonna come down, and we're all gonna have to bend over for the government, right? And Obama's gonna stick his government guys are gonna stick their fingers up your ass. That's what's gonna happen until people are willing to take a stand and say we're fighting Islam, and if you don't follow Islam, you shouldn't be probed. Until we're waiting to do that, you can expect more of this. So don't blame TSA, blame yourselves. That's my board.
Most Muslims are not terrorists, but most terrorists who blow up airplanes are Muslims.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, that's the way they do it in the state of Israel. In the state of Israel, if you're an Arab, if you're a Muslim, you're going to get the once over 4 times. In an airplane. I was flying out of Ben Gurion. Can I say this?
Mm-hmm.
They let me walk right through. They walked me right through. They're like, here's this frummy, like, you know, nobody's ever blown up an El Al plane, you know, dressed like me. They're like, whatever. I walked right through. Guy behind me, or the guy who was next to me, was an Arab. He just looked like a normal guy. He was just a normal Arab guy with a suitcase. They took his suitcase. They spilled everything on the floor. They pieced it all out. I'm telling you the truth. This was in 1987. Imagine what they do today, right? It was 1987. They pieced out all his underwear and everything. I mean, it was just humiliating for this guy. They pieced it all out, everything. They took apart his suitcase. They unzipped everything. They took, then they took him over and they strip searched him, right? They don't have any bones about it. What's the difference between him and me? I'm a from Ashkenazi Jew, and this guy is an Arab Muslim, right? He fits the description. You call it racial profiling. I call it a description of the suspect. I'm with Ann Coulter on this one. She's got it right. And you notice that El Al and Ben Gurion Airport are not ever in the same sentence with hijackings and terrorists. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't play games. But this country's not ready for that. So until that time, every one of us are going to be treated like Arabs. And that's the way it goes. You know, and if like, oh my God, Rabbi Raps is saying racial stuff, then fine, I don't give a shit. Right? I'm saying the truth. Right? And if you want to be safe, play it like Israel does. Right? And if you think Israel is racist and all these other things, then fine. Get ready, because the TSA is going to bend you over and probe your anal area. That's what you get next.
Speaking of being probed like that, how much of your life have you spent in spiritual bliss?
What does that have to do with this?
Well, we're talking about bliss, and I just thought, what percentage of your life would you say that you have spent in spiritual bliss?
Define spiritual bliss.
How have you defined it? Spiritual bliss. You're just blissing out.
Like at peace, and I'm feeling really great about being
spiritually connected to God. And
I always feel spiritually connected to God, so I'm going to say about 99% of the time.
Wow, so that's why you're so joyous.
See, that's why I asked you what do you mean by bliss. Does bliss mean,
bliss means happy.
Happy? I'm going to say about 0% of the time. But I'm always, see, that's why I asked you, because you said connected to God. If it's connected to God, I feel it about 99% of the time. If bliss means that you're happy when you're connected to God, then I would say 1% of the time. 0% of the time, right? I'm connected to God almost all the time, right? But it's not a good relationship. It doesn't make me happy.
Yeah. Hey, babe. So yeah, I got the big operation on Friday, but I should be back on Monday for more.
Do you want me to visit you while you're down? You need anything?
I don't think so. I'll let you know.
You don't want to see me unless it's Monday night.
Like, Rabbi Raz, could you come over and yell at me for being a heretic? I'm feeling kind of down right now.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Yeah, could you just come over and like yell at me for
I
half
can
an
do
hour?
that.
Like, it'd make me feel so much better. It'd make me feel like truly cared for.
It's like that commercial for Geico.
Which one?
Where the guy is.
Oh, the one with his therapist? Like,
Yes.
imagine a drill sergeant and
Yes.
a therapist. So let's just walk over to namby-pamby land. I love that one.
I'd be like the drill sergeant.
Yeah, you're like a drill sergeant therapist.
Yeah, you heretic.
Yeah.
You're a disgrace, you ignoramus.
Yeah. Yeah, stupidities.
All right, let's get into it.
So it's Torah portion Vayeshev,
Yes.
and that's basically Genesis chapter 37 through Genesis chapter 40. So we learn that Jacob loves Joseph and Benjamin more than the other kids. Now it's not because they are the children of his old age, because parents don't love their children more when they're old and they conceive them then. It's because they're Rachel's kids. That's why he loves Joseph and Benjamin more. And he dresses up Joseph in this coat of many colors, which is basically women's clothing, to remind himself of Rachel.
That's the first stupidity. Where do you come from saying that it's women's clothes? Where do you?
Well, there's a midrash that he like curled his hair and he got all feminine, and like a coat of many colors. That's either metrosexual, or just plain woman.
No. The Medrash says that the coat that Yaakov gave to Yosef was a royal coat. Royalty. It was a coat that he prepared for him to be the ruler of the tribes. Of the 12 tribes, he would be the ruling body. And it was a ruler's coat. It wasn't a Fegela's coat. It wasn't like you go into like West Hollywood and like, ooh, look at me, I've got like the multicolor thing going on. I got like a chartreuse and a burgundy, right? It wasn't like that. This was a royalty coat. It was like a Rebbe's jacket. You ever seen pictures or been to a Tish where the
I've never seen where the Rebbe's been in many colors.
Oh, there's like really like a fancy like dark blue silk or the red and the white.
But not with many colors.
Well, that's because he had a Rebbe's jacket. It's not a feminine thing. The next thing it
You
is.
don't think Jacob was trying to make him look like Rachel?
No! Where do you get this crap? Were you reading this like in some like anti-Semitic website or something?
I was listening to Dennis Prager.
Oh my God! That's what he comes up with? Can you stop listening to him? Then if you're going to listen to him, don't post it. Don't post it on anything near what we're talking about, because this has nothing to do with Judaism. This is Prager, and it's coming out of his ass. And it's grotesque. It's not. It was a Rebbe's jacket. Next thing, I'm gonna dispel all of these myths tonight. Go ahead.
So why was Joseph bringing bad tales of his brothers to his father? That's not very wise behavior.
Why was he bringing bad tales?
Yeah, like, could you imagine like any sibling like telling on his other siblings? Like, it's not very smart.
I don't have an answer why he did that.
Yeah.
But he definitely did that.
Okay. So how would you react if your sibling told you about such dreams of superiority? I found in my life that you never want to give others the feeling that you look down on them, because they don't tend to like it very much. So it's usually best to confess your faults so that others don't have to remind you of them. So, like, why didn't the siblings just like laugh at Joseph when he's having all these dreams of being superior to them and them bowing down to them? Why did they hate him for it?
Oh, I got the answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
Rashi says that the brothers were, when they heard the interpretations of these dreams, that they all bowed down to him, they got pissed because they said, oh my God, he's going to be telling their dad on them. That's why they got pissed. In other words, they didn't really care that he has he's an egomaniac or something, and he says, hey, I got a dream and you're all bowing down to me. And they'd be like, what?